It reflected very well on Louisville, and then they also announced that on May 27th, from 4 to 6 p.m., they will visit Canton, that is, have their kind of summer kickoff party in the alley to celebrate Stark County tourism and to kick off their summer events, America 250, those types of things. And of course, we will, at that point, be adorned in all of the America 250 things that we are doing. So it should be quite a night. Bringing back the utility box art. As I mentioned before, the school's excited about doing it. I've communicated with the people from Canton, or the person that was responsible for overseeing their program, got some good information. I've kind of proposed some themes because we're going to need to give the school some themes to work with. And it can be one of them, all of them, some of them, none of them. Like a patriotic theme, Louisville Leopards theme. Maybe appropriately near the alley, umbrella alley theme, abstract and botanical. So if council just wants to leave it up to us, we can work with the schools on some themes and then bring that artwork to you prior to for approval, or you can eliminate or add themes, whatever, however you'd like to handle it.
Sounds good. Let them at the school decide.
Yeah,
Like what you said, like Umbrella Alley, you would have, Umbrella Alley stuff, maybe Uptown have the Americana stuff, up by the stadium, leopard stuff, things like that go appropriately in the city.
And we'll identify, because obviously we can't do every utility box in the city, but we'll identify the ones that would be most appropriate by virtue of having the most traffic, being the most visible, things like that. And then work with the school on how many they want to design and then bring that back to you.
yeah, and that's a question too. I know we've got a meeting coming up, but for like almost, it's related-ish to the Parks Commission. I know a lot of those people have tastes and things that I don't necessarily see as well, but I'd be fine if it was brought up and kind of, signed off by them as well to see if they had any other ideas or ways they wanted to refine it. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it can look like Joni's wardrobe. We can just do leopard and blue and Columbia everywhere. But yeah, so that sounds good. But sectioning it off, that may be cool, whether it's around Umbrella Alley, or you can do more nature themed when you're in or around the parks.
Right. Okay.
And then default to the blue Columbia leopard everywhere else.
I love those. Great idea.
Okay.
Well, we'll continue to carry that forward and get back with you when we've made some progress. Real quickly, we were able to get some more money from ODNR, which is money from the federal government for the amphitheater. That project is moving forward. We've been working very closely with them and our city engineer and the engineer that the Rotary is using. So we're moving forward with that. Pretty exciting. Looks like we're probably going to be able to do everything that we set out to do with respect to the amphitheater. Then
What's estimated kind of timeline with that looking right now?
well, at this point, it looks like we probably would be shooting to start the project after all the bidding process and everything, probably around the July time frame.
Okay.
And it's estimated to take 2 or 3 months. It's not an enormous project, but so it should be done pretty quickly.
Great. So realistic use is either maybe fall, but probably next spring, summer.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, I mean fall, certainly probably some use, but full use I would think probably in the spring. And then City
Can I ask
Hall.
Andy one thing?
Yes.
You can
Can
do
I
whatever you want.
like
Of course.
the baseball and softball fields? I love the concession stand and the bathrooms that are there and stuff it's really well made and everything. It's going to be an awesome asset to the town. Do you know when we're going to be able to start to use the fields?
It should be for the spring season. We are yet to install dugouts, and then there's some finish work that will need to be done, kind of relative to the construction of the fields themselves, but we should be ready by spring season.
It is really an asset for the
It is.
town and for the whole park.
It's turned out really nice so far. And if you kind of just stand in the entrance to the library or to that parking lot,
Oh, no.
everything kind of flows very nicely and fits in. And I think the amphitheater will just be a complement to all of that.
There's lots of people at the park.
It's been considerable investment in Mesker Park, no question about it. And the last thing, so just to kind of, a little bit of history, of course, one of the benefits of the fire department building, in addition to meeting all of their needs, was that we were going to create space at City Hall that we could expand into to address a number of needs that City Hall has. We initially were given one price, just essentially based on square footage and remodeling and some construction. That was before either the architects or the engineers really put hands on the building and got to see kind of what they're dealing with. Unfortunately, the cost of the renovation has substantially risen, and as I may have mentioned before, because of this, we have to do this, and because of that, we have, at this point, and just to be, I guess, transparent with council, the architects have raised the idea of new construction not costing much more than renovation. So that conversation turned into what number of square feet we could get in a new construction environment for what we're going to have at City Hall. And the very short of many long conversations is, at this point, we could build a new City Hall on that existing plot of land that City Hall is on, and you have a schematic under the magazine there that shows you how it would be configured. And we could do that. The construction estimate, so these aren't estimates from the architects, these are actual hard numbers from the construction estimator, puts building a new City Hall that would accommodate our needs at roughly $4.3 million, when renovation of the existing City Hall would be roughly 1.1, but not part of that 1.1 would be the cost of us having to operate off-site for a year. And that was one of those things we learned once we got into it. We don't have a lot of asbestos in the building, but because of the locations that it does exist, we could not occupy City Hall during the renovation. So it's estimated, and this is just on some cursory research about the cost of space and IT accommodations, that would roughly be about $100,000, between $75,000 and $100,000 to set up essentially a temporary City Hall somewhere. So those are the numbers. I've also asked for them to give kind of an objective comparison of building versus renovation, and you should have that from the email I sent late Friday. I'm sorry, not 1.1, I apologize, 4.1.
I already locked in the
we're-
1.1.
we're-
It's done.
Well, interestingly, that was the original estimate.
Yeah.
No,
now it's
4.1. We're about $150,000 apart at this point. And again, I asked them to kind of put together an objective comparison of building versus renovating. The two things that probably stick out the most to me in that comparison are any surprises that may come when we do renovate the existing building. And then one thing that I don't think we gave a lot of thought to before, but efficiency comparison of a new building to an old building in terms of gas and electric. So certainly don't expect an answer tonight, but wanted to bring it to your attention, give you the opportunity to come up with any questions that you might have. But we're kind of at the point where we would need that direction to go any farther in this process.
If you remember, we did run into problems.
That we didn't foresee during the police station renovation.
That, you're correct, and that's what caused us to go well above the bid threshold, which is, of course, what led to kind of the legal problems. There were some things that we assumed were good with that building, and it turned out that they weren't, and they were expensive repairs. And actually, not to put you on the spot, Matt, but Matt recounted a story last week about a similar project in Rittman where they had some unexpected cost related to a renovation.
Yeah, they're renovating the old public library. The library built a new branch. They were renovating the old public library to be the new city hall. And there was a concrete floor where they were going to put council chambers. They dug into it so they could run wires for all the microphones, and they found that all of the sediment, whatever's under that concrete slab had settled like 7 to 8 feet. So there's just nothing supporting this floor, and they had to figure out how they were going to support this floor. So it certainly happens, and yeah, it was an unfortunate time.
So I guess what I would ask is if you kind of review the information, if there's anybody you want to talk to or any questions that you have, and we can bring answers back to you at the next meeting, and then if it's appropriate at that point to give us direction, or if it'll take more time to make a decision.
Would it be appropriate to have, I don't know if it would be Hammond or whoever the engineer would be, to come and kind of just present, to kind of run through and have their, and kind of pros and cons both ways?
We can certainly, as a matter of fact, the architect has offered that, so we can arrange that for the next meeting, certainly.
That, I mean,
Who
I
is
would
the
feel better.
architect?
Horn and King, the same architects that designed this
Okay.
building.
The ones from
That's
Columbus?
right.
Yes.
You would be able to continue to work in the old building the whole time until the new one was ready? Is that-
That's one of the benefits of building new, is that we wouldn't have to leave the existing city hall. And there's of course a cost to that we wouldn't incur. So yes, they are confident that we can remove the fire bay portion of the building, leave the rest of it intact temporarily while we continue to work, and then when we left, of course, raise that building. But we can certainly make arrangements for them to come, and they are obviously the experts, and provide you with any additional information or answer any questions that you have. And then I'd still
like that.
recommend in the meantime, if you do have any questions, we can try and get those answers in advance, or provide them to the architect so they can address them at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Certainly.
Anything else?
I think that's enough.
Joni, did you want to ask about the America 250?
Oh, yes. A couple years, like a year or two ago, I was on some group of people that met with some people from Canton about the 250th anniversary of the United States is this summer. And then No Umbrella Alley is going to be all red, white, and blue, and we're going to have that one flag in the middle, flag.
Right. So that was Visit Canton.
Visit Canton had
That's
come to
who we
Lewis.
met with, and they, sometime following that point, they did provide grant money to us. That's in large part what paid for the Revolutionary War flags that will
Right.
go back up in May. I'm actually communicating with them now about the potential of them paying for the lights that we intend on putting on the decorative light poles. They, of course, will be holding their event in the alley in May, which at that point will be decked out for America 250.
I think like maybe Rotary, like second Friday or something in July.
So-
Maybe.
Yeah, we intend to focus our 250 celebration at the second Friday in June, because the one in
June.
July will, of course, be after July 4th. So we
Okay.
intend to focus our celebrations on the second Friday in June, because that's, of course, when you'll have a large number of people
Large
downtown,
people.
and you won't be, of course, competing with a lot of other events that'll take place closer to July 4th.
Okay.
And then the chamber intends to have their Chamber Fest also kind of America 250 themed.
Okay. Thank you. I knew I had been reading the paper, like North Canton's putting a lot of effort into it, and
Yeah, they are.
I know
having-
we're Constitution Town.
Drone,
We have
yeah.
those wonderful banners that are up on the buildings, so.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the direction that we're going, is focusing in on that June 2nd Friday. And actually, the commander of the committee, former Mayor Cynthia Kirshner, is here, and she plays a large part in all of what you see happening with Second Fridays.
definitely. She's my boss there. I just follow her instructions on second Fridays.
Yeah, I forget the exact day of the second Friday, but we're focusing everything on that evening, and then whatever we do with the decorating the downtown, that will all stay all the month of June, past July 4th. So, yeah, we're just going to do a lot of extra things with decorating and that night, you know. We have a band, we're hoping to do some really special things.
Our costume. Thanks.
Great.
Andy, the only thing I was gonna ask you about was if we decided or were able to submit any projects with Congressman Rowley's office.
So interestingly, I got the official notice via email on Monday that it's due this Friday. So yeah, we did explore the application. We have, as a matter of fact, it's the City Hall project that there is a category that would fit into.
Okay.
I did leave messages for Eric Kennedy today. I want to just get some more clarification on a few issues, but we are going to apply for that, yes.
Okay, are we going to spend anything for the, water and sewer?
For,
I think the one that we had discussed was that
Well-
like light filtration that would
yeah,
remove the.
that one, the engineering's not done for yet.
Okay.
That's, the engineering for that is for the UV for the treatment plant. That engineering's being done this year, so we're a little premature.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's great. Appreciate it. All right, Chief?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A couple things tonight. We got a generous donation from the American Legion Post 548, so I'll be handing that off to Matt. But I want to thank them for their generous donation to the Louisville Fire Department. Also, Caleb Parsons, who's at the elementary school. He was in the Stark County Fire Prevention Coloring Contest. He won that, and then he was also picked for the state also, so he got that. So Thursday at 9:45, we'll be presenting him with the fire department union went together, got a gift card for him, presenting that plus the thing that you're putting together for him, and one of the fire marshal representatives will be up here too, so we'll be going over there at 9:45.
Is it like at the elementary, or is it, you want us to come,
You're welcome to come if you want to come, sure.
walk down?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Thursday, 9:45 a.m. Yeah. Yep. So that's a good PR thing. So the other thing is too, obviously you know about this house fire that we had. It was quite large.
Oh, yeah.
It was devastating. So I feel terrible for the occupant, but we were able to get her cat. We did get her cat out. No one got hurt. No occupant got hurt. No firefighters got hurt. And we had a bunch of people there working.
Did they find out was it the wood burning stove?
Well, they're putting the origin around the fireplace, and we brought the state fire marshal in to do the investigation. They're gonna put it as undetermined.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the insurance companies, they already asked for our report, because they take out their own investigators to look at it, so they've already been in contact with us.
And there was some initial suggestion that there was a lack of water when you responded, if you could address that.
Yeah. If you're familiar with where it's at,
Yeah.
that south or north nickel plate, that hydrant locations, that's a dead end area. That last hydrant stops at Mid-Lake. We were 2 hydrants up from that, so we're still on the dead end of that. There's no loop or anything. That hydrant we had only provided 700 gallons a minute of water to us. We're flowing 4 hand lines at 185 gallons a minute. Then we try to put what's called a master stream, which flows about 500 gallons a minute. It's just not gonna happen. You just can't do it. There's not enough water. So that's the reason we brought in tankers, to subsidize what we're flowing out of the hydrants. I had them bring in 5 tankers, run a route, and get our fill site on the other side of Main Street, so we're on a different area. There's a 12-inch main on Main Street. It comes down a little bit down the street a little bit to a 10-inch, then goes to an 8-inch, and then those last 3 hydrants are 6-inch. That's a 6-inch main running to those last 3 hydrants. That's pretty much why our water pressure is what it is right there in those three, plus it's a dead end.
So I think the question was there any,
Were you impeded at all in your initial response as a result of that, or did you have the water?
Based on where the fire was at the time we arrived, it was already exposed, we call it the Bravo Charlie side, which is the far corner. It was already up into the second floor, and it's a balloon frame construction, which means the 2x4s at the first level go all the way to the attic. It gets into that void, travels straight to the attic, which is exactly what it did. And once it gets in there, we had two interior crews in there, one coming from the back, one coming from the front. And they have thermal imaging cameras, and the heat going up the steps was 700 degrees. And you can't get into that type of heat. Your gear won't be able to let you do that. So they were only allowed to do so far, which is the reason it got into the attic, and that's how the roof flipped off. Yeah. And then with the wind blowing like it did, the exterior of the house was on fire. That's what caught the garage on fire. And the whole garage was on fire.
Oh, that garage is
Yeah.
nothing.
We really didn't worry too hard about that, because after it caught on fire, it was pretty much gone. It's not gonna go anywhere, so that's when we focused on the house. So there's just water damage in the basement, and the front rooms have smoke and water damage. The fire damage is in the back corner and the second floor in the attic. Yeah, but like I said, as far as when it was going, when we got there, we could have had 2,000 gallons a minute of water at that time, and the outcome wouldn't have changed. We couldn't get to the seat of the fire. It was too hot.
I appreciate you and the guys and the departments that provided mutual aid, just, professionalism and response. We appreciate it. And the communication afterwards, it's always helpful, because, stuff can spread real quick online that isn't truly rooted in fact.
Right. But no, we've done our best we could do.
You were awesome.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Anything else?
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, Dave?
Mayor, council, I just want to make council aware that we've been working with the developer with regards to some new housing. There was a development that kind of stalled on Windridge. If you're familiar with that area, Windridge and Reno. And I think at that point they were looking at doing some type of condos, townhomes. Nothing's been developed. They brought forward a new proposal that we'll be looking at for a preliminary plat on Planning Commission next Tuesday night, which would entail 21 lots, 16 on the Windridge area, and then 6 across on the Reno, the north side, where they currently have like that three-story units right there. They would be single-family homes, 2-bedroom, 1,600 square foot homes, 2-car garages.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, we were at the training on Saturday, and we talked about housing.
Housing.
And if jobs come, they want to know that the housing is there, and especially if we can get, those nice condos and single-family homes. I mean, that's what we want.
Right.
So, good job. Keep them coming. All right, Daryl.
Thanks, Mayor. I really don't have anything for tonight. Just a quick thing I was gonna point out, the ice skating rink is coming down, signs of spring to come, so everybody knows that's gonna
Can I ask a question about that? I know you've got, it's like underneath and stuff, like, the liquid, how it was built and stuff. Could that ever be moved, like to Metzger Park or anything? But the
liquid.
the ice cream rink, is it gotta stay where it is?
No. It's movable.
Because the library, you can, borrow the skates for free.
Correct.
We've actually had conversations about building a pavilion near the library, because the biggest factor in it not being usable is rain and of course sunlight.
Yeah.
So we had a number of conversations about potentially erecting a pavilion near the library for that
That'd be
purpose, that would both be closer to where you rent the skates and then also protected from the elements. And we would no doubt get a longer period of time out of.
I just think it would be used more.
Right.
Because it's an awesome, thing to have. Like where my grandkids live in Columbus, theirs is packed, but I'd like to see ours back.
Yeah, it's just the unfortunate thing about ours is it's exposed to the elements, and when you have some of the ups and downs that we do with the
That
temperatures
pavilion's a
and the
great
weather.
idea.
Yeah.
I brought a picture tonight, I don't know, again, you can see it, but in case anybody had any questions of why we were taking it down, is the even as cold as it's been, even the moment the sun hits that thing,
It's like slushy.
what it does is the water thaws out. The lines that are inside of it, you can barely see them there, they lift up and they kind of surface, and then it refreezes. But then you have the lines that are exposed at that point, so at that point, you're pretty much done. And then obviously the leaves and stuff that get in it. So like Andy said, yeah, just the simple fact that it can be 15 degrees outside, and if the sun comes out, it starts melting, and you're getting in trouble quick, so.
Can't put it underneath the new amphitheater, can you?
I'll leave that up to Joe.
I think it's too big. But yes, I do agree that having it near the skates at the library is probably the ultimate goal, is to have that down there so it's all accessible.
And then outside of the winter time frame, the pavilion could be used for other purposes by the library or anybody else.
Infrastructure there for the electric?
Well, depending on location, I guess, so yes. We actually just did the electric for the concession stand. If you're looking at, if you pull in the parking lot and looking to the left there, where that shed is that the library has put in place, there's an electric conduit running through there. There's a couple of junction boxes there. Theoretically, you probably could pull off of that and go to a pavilion to run what you need.
Okay,
So it's nearby, I guess I'll say.
doable.
Yeah, anything's doable.
Yeah, right.
Great attitude. Anything's doable.
Darrell, the other thing I was gonna ask about was, the email we got from that, concerned citizen, the road that, is it the school's property, is it the city's property? I think, were you on that, or is that just?
I don't recall.
Oh, that was just council, I think, was on that.
Well,
I was actually.
I thought there
I
was-
went down and took a look at it. It's where Bel Air dead ends there by the,
Right.
yeah, I'm
Right
sorry,
behind
I
the
thought
high
you were on
school.
that.
Yeah, I'm drawing a
So
blank.
somebody had emailed and said in the past they were told that's the school's property. They said it was causing issues because it was deteriorating, stuff moving into their driveway,
That the road itself is a school property?
where the turnaround.
Oh,
Yeah, he was told that in the past where I guess it looks like a cul-de-sac, but there's really no
Well,
houses
we
on it
can
other than
check.
his driveway.
Yeah, we can.
If you could forward the email.
Sure,
and then
yeah,
we'll
that would
check and see.
that'd probably be helpful.
Yes.
Oh, is that his driveway that crosses the bridge, but it's a private bridge that goes over to Fifth Street, whatever that is over there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one's exactly his, but I will
You know the
forward.
bridge I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be easy enough to find.
I
out.
will forward the email and then we'll look at it next meeting. Because if it's ours, like, of course, we'll take care of it, but I understand there's legal hurdles or things you can't do if you don't, we can't just do it for one,
One
not for,
street or one.
not for everybody else if it's not our, not our street.
Yeah.
There's no doubt
Yeah,
about that.
we'll find out.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Chief?
I've got all kinds of good news.
Great.
All right. So Friday, myself and some of the department attended the CPDA Awards Dinner where Officer Bob Rinkin received the Officer of the Year award for the city. And he was also one of the nominees for the county for the Traffic Officer of the Year. So he got a certificate there. Last year, he wrote 908 traffic citations over the during the OBI task force grant, which resulted in 1,011 multiple different types of charges. So that was impressive. The other good thing I have to report is, if you remember, I applied for those 2 grants last year because our body worn camera system is obsolete. So I heard last week, we got both of them. And they combined them, so it will completely pay for our body worn camera system and all the equipment and the storage and the iCloud, and they gave us $64,739.26.
Oh my
So that will cover everything for our project.
That is
Yes,
great.
all good news.
How important is it to have a good grant
Oh,
writer?
I'm thrilled. I was hoping we would get one of the grants, but we got both of them, so.
That's beautiful.
Thank you for taking the time
Yeah.
to do the
Yes.
grant writing.
No problem. See, it's a great reward when you get it.
That reminds me, on one of the sessions we went to on Saturday, talked about, if it, basically public records and making
Yes.
sure that the body cameras were into the retention schedule. And there were so many things that were being discussed, and there was a lot of people from townships there, and I was like, oh, I'm just so thankful we have professionals running ours, because a lot of these township trustees were worried, because they were the ones, doing a lot of that work, but I said, well, I wanted to make sure and just come back and with our body cameras that it's into that schedule, and that I know we just updated that recently, so.
Yeah, it's in the schedule, yes.
All right, very good. All right, Matt, you said you'd save us money this meeting, so last meeting you said to come back to you this meeting. so
Yeah.
Choose my stuff if you want.
It's your turn.
I delegated that
Yeah, I saved this money.
to the chief here beside me, and she did a great job.
Okay.
I don't have anything further to report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't think I have anything this time. So, without anything additional, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session for the purpose to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public official.
That we move into executive session.
Second?
Let's go ahead and vote.
McAllister Akin,
Yes.
Street,
Yes.
Aljanser.
Yes.
Cadone.
Yes.
Okay, and there will be no action afterwards. Thank you for coming, and have a good night.